Hi guys, so Christian here, and today's topic could be, it's about accountability. And when I say accountability, I'm talking about your words, I'm talking about your actions, I'm talking about your feelings, your emotions, and everything that is necessary for you to succeed and to be stronger within your transition. Your word is a reflection of who you are. Your actions, the same thing. If you say you're going to do something, then make sure that your actions validate that. Make sure they back them up. If you're going to question something, then question it in a manner that is not going to degrade another person, but question it where you are hearing and understanding what is being said to you. And I find that a lot of guys, I find a lot of guys voice it, but I find that a lot of trans women do not apply this. I don't know why. I I don't know. I just I have no clue. But I was sitting on at home watching a few social media accounts with peer groups and one-on-ones as well as group forums, and I was following this one girl who was talking about her transitioning and how hard she's finding it. Being at home, again, worrying about coming out to family, at the same time, fighting all the time, feeling a little bit trapped, feeling lost, feeling that she can't find anybody that's out there that's another M to F that she can relate to or talk to or see or acknowledge and stuff like that. Basically feeling like she has a loss of community. And I did a video on that somewhere else, and you can find it on the channel somewhere. But at the same time, all the comments that went to her that said to you, we feel bad. Have you gone out? Did you check your local P flag? Did you check up on a meetup group? Did you check out, your local community center for gatherings, your little LGBT, your, gay areas, your bars, your this, that? And her answer was no. How can you bitch about not having community when your sorry ass isn't getting up and going and looking for it? You're not taking the means to be accountable for your own social networking by going out and physically meeting, greeting, or sitting at home in your underwear and looking it up yourself, right? How could you post saying that you feel at a complete loss, you don't have community, you feel alone when you're not actually physically getting up and going out and putting the effort to finding these things? You could spend all your time, watching TV and bitching about it, but you're not being accountable for yourself in getting up and going there. And then at the same time, another gentleman was bitching about why his doctor doesn't understand him, why his doctor's not listening to what he's saying. Well, when we asked him, in the forum, several of us, back and forth, what's the situation, what's going on, explain, blah, 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 it boiled down to him not expressing the fact that he wanted to increase his dose on testosterone, but he never told the doctor this. He never explained to the doctor that this is what he was feeling, this is what he was worried about. He never asked the doctor about, if medically through the blood works and everything else, if his levels were fine for him to increase. So each time he went there, he was miserable. Angry because, one, it's taking so long, but at the same time, not voicing or inquiring, hey, I've been on testosterone for 8 months now. I don't have any health conditions, blah, 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 blah. Is it possible that we can up my dose? Just like that. Plain and simple. Open your mouth. Be accountable for your own transition. Be accountable for your own health. Assist the medical professionals who this is their job and express it. This is what I'm thinking. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I want to know. Find out from them, based on their sciences and their understandings of your situation, if they can, yes, that makes sense, let's do this, let's up it a bit, this, that, or no, we can't because of these levels, let these ones balance out. But Buddy was so upset and so angry and voicing and bitching and griping every 2 weeks that he went to his doctor. Instead of just saying, hey, I would like to up my dose, does my blood work and everything else validate that that is a good step for me, right? Simple thing. So after a bunch of us, typing away and blah, 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 blah with him, 2 weeks later, he went to his doctor and he opened his mouth, finally, took some accountability for his own medical condition and at the same time his emotions, and asked his doctor, can they up the dose? Surprisingly, the doctor wanted to do it 2 months prior. But because he didn't open his mouth and say anything, the doctor thought that maybe he wasn't comfortable yet and wanted to remain at the same level. So for 2 months, Buddy's been bitching and feeling miserable because he didn't open his mouth and say something. A doctor is not going to give you something if you don't ask for it. They're not going to fight for you and work for you if you don't inquire and put in the accountability factor. Open your mouth and say something. Make sure when you're saying something that you're going to back it up with action. Shooting your mouth off on social media isn't going to get the situation covered when your ass isn't looking at the person face to face and saying your truths, saying what's going on with you, saying what you need, voicing your concerns, voicing your frustrations. If you're just going to stomp around and be like a quiet mouse and be miserable and lash out, or be angry and throw things around and not communicate, then you're an ass. Plain and simple. Regardless of the gender that you are, you're just a plain ass. You're hurting people for no reason because they don't know the reason why you're upset. They don't know why and what is going on with you. So how can they help, correct, or aid, or brainstorm, as I like to say, brainstorm a solution to make you feel good, to make the situation seem better, if you don't come forward and say something's wrong? It's plain and simple. At the same time, be accountable for your words, too. Do not say something that you're going to regret because someone's going to call you on it down the road. Don't say you're going to be there and then not. Don't say you're going to do something and then don't. Because all that does is piss someone else off, especially me. If I can't guarantee you by your word and take you for your word, then fuck you. Plain and simple. You have no credibility to me, right? You're just talking shit just to hear yourself say something, and or you're just mouthing off to try to get out of a situation that you verbally cannot express when someone is saying what's going on. Plain and simple. This is what's happening with me. I don't know what's going on. This is what's bothering me. This is happening. This is what I need. This is what I don't need. I mean, come on, guys. Really. All of us can sit down and shoot the shit with our best friends. All of us can shoot the shit and tell each other what's going on, whether we like this or we don't like this, if we need this, if we don't need this. Then why can't we do it when it counts, when it matters, when it comes to within our transition? Why can't we speak to either the doctor, the therapist, the teacher, the loved one, and say, hey, Mom, this is what's going on with me. I'm ready to transition. This is what I need. This is what's going on. I'm underage. I know this, but this is how I feel. This is the research that I've done. This is the support system that I want to go and check out. Will you come with me so I can understand? Right then and there. You voice what you need. You've shown that you've taken accountability for it by researching and looking things up. You're asking for help. And at the same time, your actions are backing your words up. It's very simple. The one thing I can't stand when I see this, period, whether you're trans or not trans, it doesn't matter. What bothers me is people saying something and not following through. I'm a person of my word. And that's how I was raised, okay? I was raised to be that your word, it means something. If you say you're going to be there, then you're there. You say you're going to do something, then you do it. You don't hope and say, oh, well, I think I can do that, and in your head, and then say, oh, yes, I can do that, I'll be there. No. Because someone else is expecting you to be there. Someone else is counting on you and has planned that your attendance is going to be there. And if you're not going to do that, then shut your mouth. Plain and simple. I always tell people, I don't know. What are you doing this day? I really don't know. Because I don't know how I'm going to feel that day. I don't know if I'm going to have plans that something else might be more interesting or work-wise, right? I don't know. But if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm putting it in my phone. I'm writing it on the calendar over the sink. I know what's happening. I'm going to be there because I gave my word. I've said something, right? And if I can't attend, I will give you a week's notice saying that I can't make it. Especially if it's like dinners or what have you. So that you now know that, okay, there's one less you can plan for either substituting me for someone else and or altering the arrangements, the reservations or whatever, so that it's not expensive or what have you, depending on what you're doing, right? So my thing to the trans community, both young and old and those in between, is no one knows what you want or need if you don't speak up. No one is going to understand if you don't open your mouth and express and explain. No one's going to hear and know how to fight for you if you're not willing to fight for yourself and take that accountability to fight for yourself. Don't sit there and tell me, oh, you're miserable, oh, you're unhappy, and not say what it is that you have tried, what it is that you're thinking of doing, and then not follow up and do those in actions. Sit there and be miserable. You're going to do it alone because I'm not going to sit there with you and be miserable. I'm going to do my own thing just like everybody else. And then that's where you're going to sit there and say, oh, I have a sense of loss of community. No, you alienated yourself because you choose not to take a stand and fight for yourself. So guys, be accountable. Be accountable for your words, how you treat other people, how you what you do, more importantly. How you say it, what you do. And that's fine. Be that way. Be accountable. If you love the person, don't fucking insult them. Don't degrade them. Don't call them names. Back them up. Show them that respect. Show them that you value them. You don't knock them down. At the same time, don't knock someone else down because they have achieved more than you have within your transition. What the hell is that? If anything, you should be going to that person and saying, hey, I noticed that you've had chest surgery. I noticed that you had bottom surgery because you mentioned it on the forums and blah, blah, blah. Tell me, what doctors did you use? How did you do the steps? How can I strategize? Can you give me some resources? Can you talk to me? Don't hate them because you are not there. It's wrong. Why hate somebody because they have transitioned following their guidelines when you're being, better words, a lazy ass and not stepping up and doing it? Take the steps, take the accountability, take the strategies, take the planning, take the brainstorming, reach out, communicate, be accountable for your words, your actions, and what you need so that your transition is smooth and easy. Just saying. Because if you're not going to fight for yourself, trust me, no one else is going to either. No one else is going to care. Plain and simple, guys. If you like the video, I'm sure some of you are like, oh my God, Sir's yelling at us again. It happens. It happens. If you have someone in your life that you feel is not being accountable in their actions within their transitioning and or speaking up, pass it on. I have another video somewhere around in regards to communication, and I'm going to link that with this one as well. And let them know, share it, you know, think of how it is that you speak to your person who you love or you don't love, your friend, what have you. How are you accountable to them in their emotions running up and down all over the place within their transitioning? How are you showing your accountability in friendship, partnership, parenthood? Is that parenthood? Parenting skills, you know, and or just plain on sibling support, friend support, ally support. Like, share, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now, guys.